Hi everybody, so today we're going to be drawing a realistic emperor penguin. So this is a little bit different than the drawings that we've been doing because this is a more realistic looking animal versus a cartoony one that we're used to. So if you missed the live session, we actually did a vote between our realistic emperor penguin and a cuter cartoon penguin, and the emperor penguin ended up winning, but I will be doing a video for the other penguin as well, and I'll be posting that later today. So I'm going to be drawing my penguin in pencil today rather than in pen, and then I'll go over it at the end with pen. Just in case I make any mistakes, just because this is a little bit tougher of a draw. And as always, if you're drawing with pen, if you're choosing to draw with pen instead of a pencil, you may want to make sure that you have some scratch paper to draw on top of so that you don't bleed through onto your drawing surface. You don't want to ruin any desks or anything. So as you can see, my paper is folded in half. I'm trying to save some paper, so I'm only doing it on a half sheet today. If you'd like to do the same thing, I just took my paper this way, folded it in half so it's kind of a taller, skinny piece of paper. So I'm gonna find the middle. I'm gonna go up just a little bit. And this is where I'm gonna draw the eyes. So these eyes are gonna be a little bit different than the eyes that we're used to because we're not gonna draw those kind of big, shiny cartoon eyes. We're just gonna draw a small circle and we're gonna fill it in. So that is our penguin's eye. And then we have to draw our penguin's beak. So coming off a little bit from that eye, we're going to draw a kind of diagonal almost line. And it's going to curve down at the bottom just a little bit. And then from that curve, or from that point down, we're going to, oops, pencil broke. Gonna bring that line in. Then we're gonna draw our penguin's head. So our penguin's head is going to start at kind of the tip of, the base of the beak. It's gonna come up and around and down. And then we're going to draw another line coming from the bottom of the beak down. So I'm going to stop here for just a second so I can go over it in pen. So we have our dot for our eye. We have our beak and our head. So I'll do that kind of periodically. I'll stop and I'll go over things in pen and kind of reiterate them so you can see exactly what we're doing. So I'm going to connect the front of the head to the back of the head. And then we need to draw our penguin's body. So like I said, emperor penguins are a taller penguin. They're not as small as the penguins that you may have seen at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Those are an African penguin, so they're really short. Our emperor penguins are very tall. And they have kind of a torpedo-shaped body, which helps them to swim through the water really, really fast. So we're gonna draw his belly first and then his back. So his belly is just gonna come right out of where we stopped the bottom of his head. It's going to come out in a curve and down. And then for the back, we're going to make it a little bit of a hump almost. It's going to come out a little bit farther, and it's going to come down a little bit straighter, but still kind of in that torpedo-y shape. So I'm going to go over those lines again. So our belly comes out and down. Got his neck. And then his back comes down a little bit straighter. And then at the bottom of our penguin, it's going to come in just a little bit. And then of course our penguins have those super strong wings that look more like flippers than wings. So I'm going to start kind of near the back a little bit. I'm going to come out just a little. I'm going to draw two kind of short little lines for the top of the flipper. And I'm going to draw my flipper shape. And I'll go over that in pen. And then at the front of his body, I'm going to draw another flipper coming out. And since this is kind of a more realistic penguin, I'm going to make sure that those wings or those flippers kind of match up. So I'm going to mark the space where, or the spot where they end with my finger. And I'll go over it with pen. So now we're going to draw the penguin's feet. So right at the end of this line at the bottom where we curved in a little bit, we're going to bring it in just a little bit more and then curve down. From the back, we're going to bring it in a little bit as well. Then from that front curve, we're going to draw kind of a squiggly for where the feathers are, and it's going to come back up to meet that spot. Then we'll add another one of those same shapes. It's going to come down, almost like an upside down volcano shape. We're going to add those kind of squiggly lines for the feathers, and it's going to go back up. Penguins also have kind of this funky little tail. So coming off the back, I'm going to draw a line that curves outwards just a little bit. I'm going to draw a couple of little spiky lines and then bring it back in. And then I'm going to draw the penguin's feet. So I will give you a little bit of a warning. I am not very good at drawing the penguin feet. I have practiced many times and they always end up looking like little monster feet. So let this be a lesson to you. Just do your best and just have fun. It's okay if it doesn't look absolutely perfect. Your drawings are still going to be absolutely beautiful, whether your penguin has monster feet like mine does or not. So starting from these little kind of stubby legs that our penguin has, we're going to draw two lines, two kind of short lines that come out of that little stub, and then a foot shape. And that foot shape's going to kind of cut off a little bit, and we're going to draw a line that goes up it just a bit. I'm going to go over that again in pen just so you can see it. So we have two lines that come down, and then that foot shape with a line that comes through the middle. And then our penguins have these kind of pointy claws at the ends of their feet to help them grip onto the ice better so they don't go slipping and sliding around too much. So we're going to add a couple of those kind of pointy claws on the end. I'll go over those again with my pen. And then we can do the same thing on the other side. Now, if your feet overlap like mine do, that's perfectly fine. So our penguin is missing just a couple of things. He's missing some of the details that penguins have. So one of the details that our penguins have is that the emperor penguins have this cool kind of orange thing that comes up around their ears. So in order to draw that, we're gonna draw kind of in a sideways raindrop or sideways teardrop shape. It's gonna come up from the middle of his neck, come up and around and down. So it almost looks like a kind of little sideways, almost like half of a heart. And also penguins, like many aquatic animals and animals that spend a lot of time in the water, their belly is a different color than their back. And the reason for that is that when they're swimming in the water, if there's a predator underneath them and they look up and they see that light color, it looks a lot more like they're looking up to the sky rather than if a penguin's belly was black, then a predator would see them really, really easily. So our penguins have a kind of white belly. So starting up from the neck, I'm gonna draw a curved line that comes down. It's gonna go behind the flipper, so I'm gonna kind of follow it in my mind. It's gonna come all the way down to his foot. And I'm gonna draw a short line in the front of the other foot as well. So that's our emperor penguin. So if you would like to draw a background for your penguin, you can. I'm gonna draw kind of a floating little iceberg for my penguin to be on. So I'm gonna start with a curve that comes up behind my penguin. And then I'm gonna draw a curve or a line in and out, and in and out on the other side. And my next in is gonna come in a little bit farther, so it looks almost like a sideways M. And it's gonna come back out just a little bit. Now this side I'm gonna bring in a little bit farther. Bring it out and curve around the front. Now I want my iceberg to look kind of three-dimensional, like it's floating in the water. So from the points in the back, I'm gonna draw lines that come down and connect to the points in front of it. Then I'm gonna do the same thing with the next points, but those points are not gonna connect yet. And then I'll do the same thing in the front. So right now it looks almost like he's standing on kind of a spiky looking trampoline. So from these two lines that came from the second point of our little chunk of ice floating in the water, I'm gonna draw a curve that connects down to the rest of the iceberg. I'm gonna do the same thing in the front. So now it looks like he's floating on an iceberg. So that is our emperor penguin. And I'll put my original back up there for you to see the colors. So like I said, our penguins have kind of a pinky spot on the underside of their chin. That cool little teardroppy half heart shape is usually kind of a yellowy orange color. And then the top of their chest starts orange or yellow and then fades out to white. So if you'd like to draw your penguin in this kind of realistic way, you can do that, or you can color your penguin however you would like. So that is our emperor penguin. Please make sure that you send your drawings over to me. I love to see them when you're finished. It kind of is the highlight of my day when I open up my email inbox and see a whole bunch of cool animals and different drawings that we've done. I love to see them all. So please join us on Monday the 4th. It is Star Wars Day, so we will be celebrating May the 4th be with you by drawing Chewbacca. So I hope I see you all there. Can't wait. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye.